Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the showdown between the Empire and the Greenskins. Going to be showing off Elspeth here with the two Empire engineers on their Robo-Horses, as well as the Gatling gun tank. So certainly very excited. I personally think that the Empire is going to be really good in this update. I don't know if they're going to be like SS tier, but they're going to be much stronger and certainly will be an upper echelon faction in my opinion. Now, as far as my Empire build goes, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be the standard state troopers in the front line. You know, nothing flashy, just holding there for Sigmar with a couple flagellants in the secondary, because Greenskins can overwhelm you, and having an anchor infantry that will stand there and give, you know, your big monsters and tank support to the bitter end is very nice. We do have the new ROR as well, which is going to be Grundle's Defenders. So if you have a steam tank in your build, which I think is going to be not uncommon, the Gatling gun steam tanks are very good. These guys are a nice inclusion because they have the rear guardian. So nearby war machines and artillery will get 15% phys res. So let's say you're defending a Hellblaster volley gun, or your steam tank wants to fight in a blob, your land ship, whatever. You're going to be able to give it physical resist, which I really like. Now, for the big mama here, it's going to be Elspeth von Draken. She is, in my opinion, hands down the best lord for the Empire because she's able to heal herself, which is really good. She has a bound ability called, not Darkwalker, but Death's Timekeeper, yes. So this is like a Spirit Leech on an enemy that absorbs their life into Elspeth, so it heals her for 10% of her HP. You got 2 charges. Over the course of a long game, you can heal her up for 20%. She's got Death Magic, which is amazing, and her Breath Attack is actually incredibly powerful. It's like a laser beam of sorts. So yeah, I think that she'll be a staple. Granted, good news as well. Franz and Boris both got huge HP increases, so I think they'll be viable. Like, I would even take Boris in matchups against like Skaven still, because now he's just straight up tankier and still can debuff their leadership and heal himself. So yeah, a lot of fun options. Now, this is my other favorite super forbidden tech, which is the Engineer on the Robo-Horse, which gives them 90 armor, makes them really resilient. And they have good shooting, which I believe is 360. It seems like they shoot when they're being chased as well, but they can restock ammunition, and they have Mercurial Shot. This thing is just absurd. It's like a shotgun blast, activated ability, and it does a ton of damage. So that's going to be the game plan. And on the other side, we do also have the Steam Tank Volley gun. So this thing is rad. It has a machine gun on the front, and it does have, I believe, some sort of a cannon on top. It's not like the other ones that shoot a cannon, but it does shoot, and it's really good. This thing's more like melee focus. You get it in there, you grind, you tear route, and yeah, it does its part. And you can see here it has the directional missile block. So in the front, it has 100%. Wow, the missile block chance from each direction: 100% from the front, 50 from the sides, and 10% from the rear. So incredibly cool, and very strong as well. All right, so we're on, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see the Mercurial Shot coming in from the Engineer. Boom, right in the face on those Orc War boys. And that was 2 Mercurial Shots on those, if I'm not mistaken, bringing 1 unit down to half health. A very expensive unit, mind you, which did get a cost increase in this update. Is going to be strong, and Elspeth is going to be screening out. Now, another cool addition is that the Greenskins in this update, though they did get some nerfs, Squigs and Boar Boys both got 50 gold. Honestly, they're still going to be a top-tier faction. But on top of that, the Greenskins now have the Feral Wyvern in their main roster and multiplayer, which I think is a cool addition. It's expensive, you know, it's 1,300 gold instead of 800 for like a Manticore, but it's a good fighter. It's no joke. So I was a little bit nervous, honestly. My opponent here did have Azag as well as the Feral Wyvern. Certainly would probably be capable of taking on Elspeth 2v1. So at this point, we're going to be pulling back. Meanwhile, the Gatling gun steam tank going to be ripping shots into the advancing Orc War boys and just kind of circling about. And, you know, it has a steam cannon too that it's going to be shooting. Steam tank's got a nice rework, and I think the Gatling gun or the volley gun steam tank is going to be something you'll see relatively. It's a steam cannon on top, that's right. But I think that it's going to see some play. Whereas the cannon one, maybe not so much, but the one that's a little bit more dynamic and can roll around and get some good shots probably will. In the backfield, we do have some Knights. I decided to bring the Knights of the Black Rose. Now, if I was playing in a sweaty tournament, I would not bring these against Greenskins because of the Orc War Boy Biggins. But they're honestly pretty good in a couple other matchups in which you're expecting infantry spam. They have 50 melee defense, which is insanely good. Bonus versus infantry. Kind of like a mini Grail Guardian without armor piercing, where they can sit and stay and sustain fights and do work. Now here we do see the steam tank getting swarmed by the Orc War boys, and they do have anti-large pig stickers, and it's a little bit scary, but Elspeth's going to be coming to rescue while the archers do provide some supporting fire. And here is going to be the fate of Buna. So Buna's going to be cackling on the face of the Orc War boys as they get forced back, and the meme tank will be retreating here and getting back into the lines of Sigmar. So overall, we've done some good damage out of the gates. 1 Orc War boy unit on death's bed. The other one is at about 60%. But yeah, it's all fun in games for the Empire until your opponent closes the distance, right? So here we see these swarming goblins and the Orc War boy Biggins. They're going to be pushing in and trying to penetrate into the secondary, but not going to be easy as the Knights of the Black Rose, the new Knight unit, does run, and the Feral Wyvern attacks the steam tank. Hogs coming into the side, not good for me. Flagellants are not the unit you want eating charges, but sometimes they have to. Breath attack going in, and it does laser beam those guys and does a little bit of damage. Also sunders their armor down to 50, which will help the flagellant DPS. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Empire Engineers using the Mercurial Shot once again, pounding those Orc Warboy biggins. And yeah, they're just going to sit back here and perpetually shoot. I love the horses. You see how they're like cantering? Oh my god, the animations on those are so good. But yeah, they're going to be cantering right there while the rear guard are being called up here. The Grundle's Defenders going to be surging forward to help out Elspeth in her time of need. While the Greenskin Wasp swarms in from every direction. The Steam Tank has routed off some spiders and some boar boys here. And now it's going to be turning about face to charge back into the ranks. The Steam Cannon will be rotating. You can see it shooting. And yeah, look at that. The engineer on top, he's also shooting. That's really cool. He's got his pistol. But yeah, the Gatling gun's good. And it's honestly, like, it's done good damage. But in this matchup, and generally speaking, the Terror is going to be one of the big benefits that it provides. Azag causing big havoc in my backfield. Archers are going to be getting routed. Spearmen moving backward. Knights of the Black Rose retreating across, trying to get away from the Orc Warboys and the Wyvern, and just coming to help out against the Orc Boys. This is where they shine. Knights of the Black Rose, with their 50 melee defense, just super jacked combat stats, will be able to endure against low-quality infantry all day. You don't want them fighting Orc Warboys. I mean, they can. Their stats are decent enough with that high MD. But you can see the stats of the Boar Boys with the Wa and Azag's Art Armor. Very dodgy. So Elspeth chasing down Azag, but Azag is very, very slippery here. We do manage to get one diving attack, but at this point, we really, really need to retreat. So Elspeth is going to be getting back here. Not great for us. Meanwhile, the two engineer characters are just rolling dirty wherever they can, and yeah, just shooting. You can see, yeah, they have the 360 shooting, so they can kite. And I think there's going to be some really potentially, especially in land battle, not so much Dom, but there could be some very degenerate Empire kiting builds, like double engineer and using some of the new mobility they have, you know, how they've been updated. Could be quite nasty. Now, very scary for me here. Elspeth does get surrounded. The Wyvern comes in, and it has 450 with poison and good combat stats, so it's able to connect with Elspeth pretty well. So the Dark Lady will be pulling back here to the support of the Master Engineers. Flagellant's battling to get out with Squigs here. Spearman going to be folding here soon against the Wa. And the State Troopers on the ground are starting to look a little bit thin. Balance of power not looking great for the Sons of Sigmar right now, but, you know, Sigmar always comes back in the fourth quarter, baby. Elspeth does get slapped with another Spirit Leech. Her HP pool is pretty big. It's that of a dragon, so it's like 8,000 or 9,000 if I'm not mistaken. And here we got a big juicy blob. So here's going to be the breath attack. My opponent here did notice this, and he's going to be trying to get out of the way. But here it comes, the laser beam, and boom! Good HP damage on those Orc Boys, as well as the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. So that felt pretty good. Steam Tank here being really powerful with its terror routes, but it is losing a lot of HP. And there was some sort of a buff on that. I think it was just its directional armor being applied. But the Grundle's Defenders, the Bastion, the last anchor of our State Troopers are holding well. And when the Steam Tank was near them, it was also providing that Steam Tank with a little bit of physical resist, which is awesome. Elspeth trying to get terror routes on these units. And I'm hoping that if I can get rid of the Orc Warboy, that we'll have a way to get back into this game. Because as it currently stands, the Wa is swarming. But, you know, Greenskins they're very fickle with leadership. If we can kill Azag somehow, there's going to be a potential opportunity for us. So that was my game plan at this point. I was like, all right, let's go for Azag. Let's take that bad boy down and see what we can do. So he's at 4,800 HP, Elspeth at about 41. But she is a great fighter, and she's on a dragon. But more importantly, I do have support from below. So the engineers are going to be cantering on their horses, providing supporting fire. You can see he's shooting up in the sky there at old Azag. So he's getting popped in the back pretty hard. We do see the Rampage and the Wyvern. And we get Death's Timekeeper activated on Azag. So right now, he's probably going to be routing. Balance of power coming back to the middle a little bit, trying to break that bad boy. His leadership is sitting at 20, so I know I need to get some more damage. Meanwhile, Elspeth is just going to continue fighting, activating the Darkwalker, which is insanely good. It gives her 40% physical resist, and Strider not as relevant, but the Fizz Res is quite good. But man, Feral Wyverns are tanky. They're kind of like mini dragons, honestly. They're not quite as expensive as like the high elf lower tier dragons, but you know, they're still going to be good. I think you'll see them in a couple matchups here. So Azag does get routed here. The Spirit Leech going down on him, so he's going to be breaking and running, most likely off the battlefield. The engineers are shooting, and now Elspeth has a very tough fight. This thing's at almost 5,000 HP, and it does have the benefits of the Wa going down on it. So she's likely going to be losing this fight. The Steam Cannon as well as the Volley Gun trying to provide supporting fire to the Dark Lady, but Azag is broken, and with 600 HP, his chances of routing off the battlefield with his really high speed are very, very likely. So we need to get rid of him, that is for sure, because the Greenskins are swarming pretty hard. My engineers, this is why the Robo-Horses are very good, because having 90 armor makes them incredibly resilient against like being circle beaten by units like this. So yeah, we need to get our engineers way. Elspeth unfortunately does get broken by the Wyvern. I could have tried to run, but the Wyvern's 110 speed and has poison, so I figured, hey, let's fight to the bitter end here, and the Dark Lady going to be returning to Nuln to lick her wounds. We will see. Now, Steam Tank is still functional. Terror Route's going to be coming in. We have a couple Flagellants still fighting, all 5 of them. My Engineer not looking to be in the best shape, but if he can squeak out of that fight, it'll give me some play. So I'm kind of like, okay, I need to start kiting here, get my mobility out here, get the steam tank out in open field, get some mass terror routes, because Azag is now gone. He ran off the battlefield, and leadership is going to be an issue for the Greenskins, because that's a negative 16 modifier, which puts them in terror route range. And, you know, that makes sense. Greenskins, of course, look to their war boss, and when he runs, they're going to panic. More so than more disciplined, you know, militaries. And the steam tank is steam cannoning. A mass route for the Greenskins here. We do see the Feral Wyvern coming in. And I really need this engineer to route. If the engineer doesn't route, man, I'm going to be in big, big danger. Will he be coming back? I think he will. 3, a 2, and a 1. They have really good DPS on their shooting, too. Not that they got insane value. They cost 1,200, so they didn't actually technically pay for themselves. But, you know, they have a lot of fight left in them. So if the game did go a little bit longer, they would. And now they're putting hurt into the Wyvern, buying time for the tank. And that shooting is enough to break the leadership of the Wyvern. Meanwhile, the Greenskin Wasp. Some units are going to rally here. Bounce Bar is dead even, going back and forth as Orc Warboy Biggins head in. Orc Warboy Biggins pretty damn good against the tank, but you can see the leadership is just too much. As things are routing nearby, it's going to be a cascading effect. The Greenskin Wasp going to be routing. Sigmar, Willander, and the Grundle's Defenders rallying with the steam tank. How cool is that? You got the guys giving Fizz Res to the steam tank as the steam tank commander here rolls up with his steam cannon as well as the Gatling gun. Got to be sending these Greenskins back to the swamps from which they camp. And it's still, yeah, it's a good battering ram. Really, really good against like Goblin tier units, obviously. And the Grundle's Defenders, they break at the last second, but the Engineers are in good shape. And we do see the Feral Wyvern rampaging. I really need to get rid of that thing if it were to come in and take down the tank or route one of my Engineers. The balance could, this is such a razor close game. It could flip on a dime. But the terror route from the tank in tandem with the steam cannon is too much for the WA to handle. That's going to be shattering. And there are the army losses kicking in for the Greenskins. GG, well played. What a match. That was super fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. And man, oh man, I'm really excited to play Empire in this update. There's so much cool stuff to explore. Elspeth is amazing. She, you know, did great. 2,700. Being 2v1 by those two big flyers too was not an easy task, and she held on. I'd say the Black Rose, as I said, they're good in other matchups, but not here. In this situation, you know, the Warboy Biggins are a direct counter to them, but I wanted to bring them just to show you guys. I like Grundle's Defenders. The steam tank was really cool. It didn't quite pay for itself, I don't think, but it got close. I think this one cost 1,700, but it's a very pertinent unit, and it did win us the game with its mobile terror and durability. So yeah, GG, well played. Azag did great, and it's nice to see like if this had been pre-patch Greenskins, you know, he would have 50, so he'd have 400 more golds. He would have like an extra unit. Yeah, let's see, 50, 100. Yeah, have about 400, 450 more golds, and would have had an extra unit, and could have made the difference in the game, right? So little things like that do matter. GG, well played. See you guys around, and Sigmar bless.